Hello. Um, just checking if everything is in order. Hi guys. Okay, it says um Instagram is telling you guys that I'm live. I know a lot of you have not seen me in a while. It was a needed, necessary break. Not easy for people like me because I like to talk and everything, but when you get almost like an instruction to kind of zip it for a bit, you have to follow. So hey Kelvin, hey Trust, how are you guys? Good to see you guys here. um hey Kelvin, hey Trust, thank you guys so much for joining me today, and everyone else is gonna come on. Super excited to be back. I'm super excited about today. I've got a very good friend of mine joining us, Roland, and I'm super excited about what's happening with him, what he's doing, and me. When we say step out, this is kind of the things we're talking about. Okay, we're talking about stepping out, making a difference, pursuing purpose, destroying fear, and today is an amazing day because this guy has written about something that is really dear to my heart. So I won't waste your time. The ones that have been early, you will get this early. So okay, cool. I am introducing to you
Roland, yeah.
Roland. It's Roland, guys.
Roland.
Rolly. I call him Rolly. I
Yeah.
never finish his name.
Yeah, that's
But yeah. So joining me is Rolly.
Hey everyone. Hey
Oopsie.
guys.
This is interesting times, guys. Remember,
is.
don't let
What
what you do not have stop you. So
For
right
sure.
now,
Yeah.
I don't have a tripod,
But you're gonna get one though.
but I'm gonna
Yeah,
get one.
Yeah.
So that won't stop me from doing what I need to do. But anyway, today, hey Kuda, Jonathan, how are
Hey
you?
Kuda.
Thank you guys for joining us this afternoon. Welcome, Rolly. I'm going to
Thank
call
you,
him Rolly
Simo.
because I don't want to mess
Yes.
up his name.
Yeah.
So his name is Rolly.
Rolly. That's
Please
it.
pronounce it for everyone.
Roland.
Roland.
But it's Rolly's fine.
Some of you actually call him Rolane.
Oh.
What else?
Yeah,
What else have you heard?
Roland.
Roland.
Yeah.
What else?
That's it.
Roland, Rolane, both are wrong.
Oh well, there's one more. Okay. Roland Constantinople. Can you imagine?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't even know.
Guys, I don't know what that means. But anyway, today we've got Rolly. Rolly, welcome to Conversation.
Thank you, Simo. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
And you know what? Everybody, I know everyone who's here knows Tremium Sipa. He promised me a jingle for Conversations with Simu. It has not come, guys. Please DM him, call him, stalk him until I get my jingle. Anyway, so Rolly,
Yeah.
you need to really speak up so that
Okay,
people can
okay.
hear you.
Yeah.
We are here because you wrote something.
Yeah.
A book, a devotional.
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's called Rise Above Fear, Choosing Faith in a Fear-Filled World. That's what
Okay,
it's called.
rising
Yeah.
above fear.
Choosing faith.
Choosing faith in a fear-filled world.
Yeah.
Rising above fear, choosing faith in a fear-filled world.
Yeah.
Wow. And you know what? We are really in times where fear is honestly overwhelming everybody.
Yeah.
And we can even give it as an excuse to say, listen,
Yes.
it was like this and I could not do this.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
what
Yeah.
drove you to write this book?
So I was already writing a book,
Okay.
right? So it was actually done, and then in March was when I sent it to get edited.
Yeah.
Okay, but then because then COVID happened,
Yeah.
and it was from a month it's gonna take. It now was gonna take about 2 to 3 months or 4 months, whatever the time. So in that time, I was asking God, like, so what do I do next? Do I wait for the first book to be done?
Yeah.
And then this book came up. This idea came up, and like you're saying, because at that time there's still a lot of fear. I was scared as well of just the future, especially of the year of like what God has in store, what's going to happen, and that was on my heart. That message was on my heart because it was everywhere. You speak to someone, everyone was speaking about fear. You know, like it was even in the news, wherever it was, fear was tangible. So that was the one thing that was so clear to me that okay, God wanted me to write something on fear.
Yeah.
And in in the way I write, I was like, okay, write a devotional.
All
so
right.
that's how it came about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, your fear journey
Yes.
helped you write a fear book.
Yes,
Right. Helped you write a book on fear and how we can deal with fear.
Yeah.
Hey, Rabia. Hey. So, hey Daisy. Hey Mujad. Hey Moses Mujati. Welcome, guys. And
Welcome,
today I've got Rolly. We're talking about his book. Hey Marimira. How are you guys? Thank you so much, guys, for joining us this afternoon. We're talking about Rolly's new devotional book, and how it came about, and obviously we're going to talk about how you can get it into your hands. And we're talking about the subject of fear, which I think each and every one of us has had to fight through.
Yes.
And so, Rolly, what took you so long to write a book?
Man, because I've been writing for about 8.5 years. So actually, at the end of the year, it'll be 9 years.
Okay.
So I think in the third year of my writing was when I believe God told me to write a book. Okay. So, but of course, I didn't write a book because I was so scared. One, of the unknown, I don't know what to expect. I was scared of just there were a few things. For example, I was scared of just being in front of people. So I knew once I write a book, this was a must.
This was going to happen.
I was like, Lord,
you was going to be on Conversations.
So I was like, Lord, I can't do this. So I mean, there were all these fears that I had, and even self-esteem was low. So I mean, there's a whole lot of other factors that played in to me, like just not doing the book at the time I was supposed to, But by God's grace, I mean, He started building confidence, and as I just grew stronger with Him, I mean, that's how I think I got to this point. Like because without Him, I wouldn't have been here. I mean, at all. So that was. I think that's how I got here.
That's amazing, and sorry, excuse me. Most of the time we think fear just comes, but it's a build-up. It's a build-up of things. It's a build-up of insecurities, words that people speak over you, and everything. And as you were writing the book, what are some of the things that broke off you?
Shucks, this was one of the things. Just being in front of people. That was like God dealt with it, because I think as I was writing the book, this was always at the back of my mind. That I would have to just be out there, and that's one thing. If you see in my writing, because I have a blog. So in my blog, you anonymous. Yes, people know you, but you never get to do this. But then, as I was writing this book, this was at the back of my mind. Like I have to confront this, and as the closer I got to the end, God was like, okay, you're bringing me to the front, saying, you've got to deal with this. You have to make a choice. You have to trust me. Like, this is how, if you trust me, I will break this thing. And it was hard. I mean, it took months. I mean, because I started writing this book in March. So, I mean, like, March, April, May, this is how long God is like, you've got to do it. I know you're putting it off, but you've got to do it. And in the end, it was like, okay, God, I'm going to do it. And it was more in the fear doing it. I think that was the important thing. It wasn't waiting to say, okay, for the right time. Like, God, I'm going to do it. And as I did it, that's when now God is opening doors. That's when God is doing what He's doing. And now it's broken because,
And I think, I like what Rolly is saying, guys, in terms of facing that which you fear. And that's the only way you're going to break it. That's the only way you're going to break the whole cycle of fear. And when you start, you find that you get the momentum to keep going and to keep doing and to keep going and to keep doing. And Rolly, what's the process like? What's the writing process like?
Wow, it's hard. So first of all, you have to have the idea, right?
Okay. Have the idea. To you guys who want to write, number one, have the idea.
Yes. And then from there, I think as I had the idea, then I asked God for the content. So He started giving me ideas of what He wanted me to write specifically on. But then again, that all came because of my relationship with Him. I think that was one of the important things. Was if it wasn't as solid, I wouldn't, one, be comfortable, and then two, I wouldn't know what to write. So those two things I think were important. Just having that close friendship with God and to persevere as well. Because sometimes writing is hard. I mean, like, you can just get writer's block and you're done for months. And so what do you do in that time? Do you freak out? Do you panic? So these are all the things you have to keep at it. Even goals as well as one of the other things I had to do. Like in a week, I need to at least write like a chapter or 300 words. But all those things I had to learn actually, and and then that's how I got here. You know, so it was a process, step by step, and it's breaking it down to say, okay, there's a big goal. Lord, how do I do this in smaller chunks? Because otherwise, out of just being there, like I don't know what to do. Yeah.
And so, guys, I don't know if you caught that, but have the idea, ask for content. Rolly being a Christian and everything, he had to get to a place where he had to ask God for content. What do I write about? And then each day commit yourself to doing something towards the goal. So you've got a goal to write a book, okay? You've got a goal to go to Dubai next year. What do? Every day, do something towards that goal. Even if it means $10 aside, even if it means this and that. So for Rolly, each day he had to write something.
Yeah. And I kept myself accountable with that, because with those goals, it just kept me in check. And also the discipline, you need that. It was so important, because yes, I have the goals, but I mean, if you don't have the discipline to read those goals or to follow through on the commitments you've made, then again, you'll get nowhere. So these are all the things that God had to rein in for me to say, you need to work on these things. Stop procrastinating. Be disciplined in the things that you need to do. And I mean, this is all part of the process, and I'm still learning it, right? So it's getting better and better, but it's still, I mean, there's a long way to go. So
and Rolly, what do you think, as young people, what do you think contributes to our build-up of fear?
To a build-up of fear, I think it's one is just like you said, your past. I think it's a big one, especially if you leave fear unchecked. All right. Two is what people say about you, and that's again self-esteem. And like if you allow people to dictate who you are and what you can do, or set your limits. That's especially what I was doing. Like, okay, so people think I'm this kind of person, so I should do that, right? But I had to break out of that. So for them, again, these are the kind of things you have to deal with and bring to God honest and say, wow, okay, who am I, right? And just fight against those words that are spoken against you and your past. You have to confront it as well. But again, you can't do it alone. And like, you need help. Like, pray about it. Have a relationship with God. Speak to someone who you trust. But these are the steps that you need to be taking to do that. I mean, to overcome.
And how do you see sometimes the fear, the injection is coming from people we respect.
Yes.
And people we honor, and people we think are for us. But their I don't know how to put it, has been putting fear in us instead of propping us up to be who we are created to be.
So how to deal with that was, if you have to, in a way, stop giving sanction to that, because I had to learn again. So there's this Lou Tice, I don't know if you know him, and he spoke about giving sanction to people, right? So when someone says something, when you agree with that thing, it's called giving sanction to something, and it becomes a part of you. So whatever you agree, it can be wrong, can be right. But what happens, we've been taught right now, if someone's older than you, you just agree. But you don't know that in your psychological frame of mind and how you're created, that once you give sanction to it, once you say yes, it actually becomes a part of you and you don't even know. So these are the kind of things where I also give us, okay, well, it may be a pastor, it may be even a family member, it may be just someone I respect. But now it is also almost like I have to sift what I'm listening to and agreeing with. Don't agree with anything, especially
don't
if
agree with anything, guys.
And you have to know, this is what God is saying. And I'm going to agree with this. And if that thing is being challenged by someone else you respect, then you have to
how then do you hey Carmen, hey Sanel, hey Keith, how do you disagree with someone? How do you disagree with someone you respect?
So this, again, it needs discernment, right? It depends. I think for me it was more also in internal thing, right? So someone can say something, but in my mind I would be like, no, that's not true. But I mean, if it was an outright attack, I would then also outright stop it and say, no, that's not true. You can't say that about me. But there's going to be a lot of words that come that internally you have to again speak to yourself and then say, hey, that is not me, that is not like me, and reaffirm what God has told you. Because I think out of everything that everyone says and whatever, the only constant thing, the only thing that can't move is what God says.
Wow.
You know, so
That's so good.
if you know that, and if that's your starting point, then everything else that everyone says
Yeah.
is you've got the permission to take it or
Or
leave
to
it, but
leave
not
it.
what God says,
That's
and
good.
nothing can challenge that. But
That's good.
unless you do, unless you say, okay, no, I'm deciding to choose what someone says over what God says.
Wow.
You know?
So is this a devotional how many days? Is it like a month devotional? It's like is it something that someone has to go through over and over again?
Yeah.
What is it structured like?
It's 31 days.
31
1
days?
month.
Okay, 1 month,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And what it is just addressing what fear is and
Yeah.
giving the word of
Okay.
what God says of fear and how
Yeah.
we should deal with it. So
Yeah.
31 days of word
Yeah.
of what God says, like how to overcome it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Guys, I'm really excited. Like, I'm so excited because, not only is Rolly one of our own, but he's young and, and we are beginning to step out. We are beginning to realize things that are okay and things that are not okay. We're beginning to understand our God-given talents and things that we must pursue, in spite, regardless of who says what. And I like what he said. He said, if someone respectful, if someone you respect or honor, whatever, begins to say stuff to you that builds fear, speak to yourself. Tell yourself that's not true. That's not me, and if it becomes aggressive and it's in your face, try and address it.
Yeah.
Obviously in a respectful way,
Yeah.
but try and get them to know that that's not who you are. And, and Rolly, what else can people look forward to in the book?
Yeah, I think that's mean to live by faith, right? I think
Yeah.
the book also, yes, it's fear, but it's more like God has called us to do things, right?
Yeah.
And in this time of fear, in this time of COVID, is that we've been so focused on just fear and getting by,
Yeah.
is that we've totally missed Jeremiah 29 verse 11, that God actually is moving. God has a plan for your life this year,
This
not
year.
next year, not
That's
2 years
it.
from now. So
Yeah.
the book addresses that. I
That's
think
good.
it's an encouragement to actually seek God to, Lord, what do you want me to do? Because the truth is, there are people actually doing things, people who are trusting God in this year, and God is opening doors, God
Yeah.
is giving breakthrough.
Yeah.
So the book is just encouraging us to do that. So it's
Okay.
like, pursue what God has us, because He's not waiting. He's not
Yeah.
limited by
Yeah.
COVID. He's not sitting somewhere as well saying, my hands are tied. I
Yes.
can't do anything. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
Let's all wait. No. He's
Yeah.
saying, do you trust me?
Yeah.
And I can move on your behalf, but you have to start moving. You have to address the fear. You have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And just start moving.
Yeah.
And that's what the book also
Yeah.
addresses, because I
Addresses.
totally believe that we all have a plan for
Yeah.
our life, that God has a plan, and we just need to trust Him
Yeah.
and see Him move, and God can move. That's again on
And
us.
I can actually relate because for me, Rolly, a lot of things have, like fear
Yeah.
has played a huge part in my life in stopping me
Yeah.
from doing things.
Yeah.
And in me procrastinating, like you'd be like, okay, I'll do it, and then also, you fear. I see Rolly wrote a book, and mine is not yet out, but I did write a book, and I'm just like, okay,
no.
and you've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
all this fear. People say stuff about you, and you don't understand how it's been building up inside.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
what
yeah.
you said about refuse it the minute it comes out of someone's mouth. If you can't identify with it, if you cannot agree with it, refuse it right there. Don't wait until tomorrow. As they are speaking, just refuse it.
And can I say something else?
Yeah.
So this year, like I said, I was dealing with this fear of being in front of people and
Yeah.
all this, right?
Yeah.
So when I made the decision, okay, Lord, let's do this.
Yeah.
The crazy thing was, because I'm also in kids church,
Yeah.
and then we're doing kids online,
Yeah.
and the doors opened for me to be online. I was like,
Yeah.
and I feel that was God also preparing me to say, okay, if you're prepared to deal with it, let's
That's
give you steps. And
good.
it
That's
reminds me just
good.
of David, and how like he first had to overcome the lion and
Yeah.
the bear and the giant, but that's I think the process of overcoming fear, that God will then, if you are ready to overcome,
Yeah.
if you want God to do that, then He will give you the opportunity to,
Yeah.
within His strength.
That's
and
good.
and I mean, and His grace was there, and it worked out, I mean,
Yeah.
and because of that, I was more confident to move forward, to say, oh, okay, I can do this. Then
Yes.
that thought of not fear, but more like, I could actually do this came. And that was because of God. He opened the door to do that. But if I was more like, no, I will listen to the fear, I'm not going to do it, guess
Yes.
what? Out of still being stuck.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that to overcome fear, a lot of it's also on our part. We
Okay.
need to really take that step to say, okay, Lord, let's do this.
Let's do
You
it.
know, yeah,
I like that. I like that. I guess it applies to a lot of things in our lives. That when you're ready to face it,
Yeah.
you'll be given the tools to overcome.
Yeah.
You'll be given the tools to go through it and to overcome it,
Yeah.
and to actually come out with a book, guys.
Yes.
Who would have known? Like, as Rolly is saying that he had fears, but look at it now. We are talking about a book release. We're
Yeah.
talking about something that's going to impact our generation and generations to come, and even older people,
Yeah,
I believe,
yeah,
that
yeah.
have had fear and do not know what to do with it, and yet we've got a tool,
Yeah.
that we can use. And I don't know, Rolly, where can people get this devotional?
Okay, so right now it's on Kindle, right? So
Yeah.
it's on pre-order. So hopefully you'll leave the link
Okay.
below. So it's on
Yes.
Amazon, but I am working towards the hard copy and the
Okay.
paperback. So that
Alright.
I'll give you more info. But right now it's on Amazon as a Kindle version. This is
Alright.
the Kindle release, and that's
Yes.
happening on the 19th, which
Okay.
is this week actually, on Saturday.
Yay!
On Saturday.
Saturday, guys.
Saturday.
If you've got a Kindle,
Yeah.
it's available for you on Amazon. I mean, we are taking over. Right now, like there's a lot of platforms that are really available.
Yeah, there's a
so
lot. Yeah,
Amazon,
yeah.
go on to Amazon, find Rolly's book. The title is
Rise Above Fear, Choosing Faith in a Fear-Filled World. That's
Rise
a
Above
long
Fear,
title, yeah.
Choosing Faith in a Fear-Filled World. How do you engage faith?
How do you?
Engage the faith. Choosing fear. What does that mean? Choosing fear?
Choosing
faith. Sorry.
Choosing faith.
What
in a
is what?
So what I mean by that, choosing faith in a fearful world, like what we've been saying, is
Yeah.
that there's fear all around. There's fear to stay where you are. There's fear
Yeah.
to actually move back, but it's a book still saying no. Choosing faith. We need
Yeah.
to choose. It's you making the decision to say, okay, Lord, I'm gonna take that step.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by choosing faith. It's you just not listening to fear
Yeah.
and instead saying, I choose faith, I choose to move,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rabia says, Amen, cannot wait for the hard copy.
Amen.
I
Yes.
know, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I am so a hard copy book
Yes.
kind
Yeah,
of
me-
person.
yeah.
I get distracted when I'm reading on my phone or anything.
Yeah, yeah,
And maybe
yeah.
I need a Kindle device. I don't know. But I get really distracted or whatever because I'm just like, a phone comes
Yeah.
in and
No,
whatever.
no,
but
yeah,
a
yeah,
book,
yeah.
I can whatever. So I'm with you
It'll
there,
be coming
Rabia.
soon, though. Yeah,
It'll be coming soon.
Definitely in the next week or two. Yeah.
So guys, if you are dealing with an issue of fear, if you do not know what to do, this devotional is for you. And I think it's important that we begin to accept the things that are eating us up, and then we can deal with them quicker and move forward and do other things. I don't know if you have anything else, Rolly, that you really want to say.
Yeah, I also, one of the things is that I think one reason why we're scared is because there's all this area of things unknown that we have to learn, which I had to go through, right? So you write a book and you're done, and there's a whole area of things you don't know what you're doing, and you have to learn. And
Who's
I think,
gonna buy this book?
and yeah, exactly, and
you
learning
start,
how to do step by
yeah,
step, you know. And I think with fear as well, it tries to beef up all those things, like, okay, because you don't know so much stuff, like stay where you are. So with faith, it means that as you look towards all these things that you don't know, don't be afraid, because you know that God will be with you. And that's what it's been with me, like through everything that I did not know, like from scratch. God was like, no, his grace was there for me then to help me to learn to navigate all these things. So that's,
and I think and I like what you said, because most of the time we want to know the whole road. We want to know the whole navigation system. We want to know, okay, from here I'm moving to there, I'm moving to there. But when you begin to trust God, He takes you step by step, area by area, road by road. He is leading, He is in front. And most of the times we're like, no, but if I start this, how do I know it's going to succeed?
Exactly.
How do I know I'm going to be okay? How do I know that people are going to buy my book? You don't. So what you just need to do is to trust. Trust the process. Trust the process. I think I read a quote today from Zuckerberg. He was saying an idea is never complete. Step by step. And I think that's exactly what you're talking about, Rolly.
Yeah, I think that's it. And for me, like I said, once I had the idea, it had to be built up over months, like months. And again, from months, this is still a year's journey, and it just kept on building and building and building. So
wow.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Rolly.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I know it was a quick interview. but it was really packed with so
Yeah.
much goodness. And it's a book release, guys. The
Amen.
focus is not on conversations, the focus is on the man, okay? And the
Amen.
book. Get the book, go onto Amazon and pre-order and you get your book.
Amen.
And then
Yeah.
the hard copy is
Soon.
coming
Yeah, yeah. In
soon.
the next week or two. Yeah.
Wow.
A week or two.
In the next week or two, guys,
Yeah, yeah.
in the next week or two, and you'll see something online that says pre-order or
Yeah.
it's ready and everything. So look out for Rolly's posts and look out even on conversations, because we'll definitely be running with this project,
That's it. Amen.
definitely
Yeah.
be running with this book and making sure that we overcome this fear, because guys, we got things to do. We cannot allow fear to take over. Last words.
Yeah, just rise up above fear. Like, just pursue everything that God has for you, and know that this year, like, God has so much in store. It's just up to you. Do you trust Him enough to actually take that step? So, yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, guys, as usual, thank you so much for joining me and Rolly today, who was my guest. An amazing young man, and stepping out of his comfort zone and allowing God to use him for himself and for other people. I'm excited about this devotional, and I hope we are going to be taking it seriously. Marimira says, well done, brother. Looking forward to reading your book. Thank you so much, Marimira, for joining us. Thank you, everybody. Love and appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic Monday and the rest of your week. Remember, faith over fear. Bye.
That's great.